Bures. My name is Hanna Welde and I teach North Sami, an endangered indigenous language. I will show you around in Second Life where my students train their spoken language skills and communication in North Sami. As you already notice, this place is not just a place for my students. It is a common meeting area for all our language students. Now, let's take a closer look at the discussion area. The best way for me to move here is to fly. It also gives us the opportunity to look at the discussion area from above. Let's move a bit closer. There is no class at this moment, so we don't have to worry about disturbing the lesson. Virtual environments such as Second Life give us the possibility to view the space from different perspectives. Hereby I show you how the space looks like through my avatar eyes. I can also control the camera view, and in that way I can study my interaction with other avatars. But hey, did you notice those red bulbs that were hanging up in the air? Almost transparent. Let me just say some words about them before we continue. Invisible avatars that are placed above a certain area can function as video cameras. This can be useful when assessing oral skills or when the teacher needs to pay attention to individual students' pronunciation. Students' approval is, of course, needed in most cases. Next, I'll show you to one of the pair or group work areas in this space. I will activate the puzzle lines for you so that you can see the little voice cells where the students can work in pairs without disturbing others. Here we go. You can see the green lines on the ground that show borders between different sound puzzles. This means that a large group of students can all work in one space and the teacher can then listen to each group individually. In the middle area by those red chairs that float in the air, all students can sit together and listen to the teacher or fellow students that are presenting, for example, their case studies. Let's leave the House of Languages area at HomeLab 2 Islands and move on to a different location in Second Life, namely to wonderful Denmark. There are many interesting places and locations to visit, but for the purposes of the Sami course, it was best to choose a location that the students can relate to in some way. A Danish town was a good place to start when the students started working on map quests and giving first instructions to each other in North Sami. Let me demonstrate how this location can become a part of a language course. Okay, we have now moved or teleported to a new location in Second Life. My avatar is now a student visiting this place for the first time on her own. The student has received instructions earlier on and has worked on the Sami instructions, translating them, and must now test her understanding of the instructions. Here are the instructions, an example of instructions used on the course. Find the guide who is standing close to the information board near the fence. Behind the guide there are signs that show you where the tourist office is. Walk to the tourist information office. Outside the tourist info there are some flags hanging on the wall. Which countries are represented by the flags? Now, behind the corner on Church Street there is a church. Go to the entrance of the church and find a red rose on a grave. Who is buried in the grave under the red rose? Write down your answers to the questions and send them to your teacher. First, find the tourist information office. Now look for the flags and identify the countries they represent. What are the names of the countries in North Sami? Next, find the street just behind the corner. The street is called Church Street, so you should see a church behind the corner. Finally, find a grave with a red rose on it and write down the name of the person on the gravestone. Freddy Hirano, that is the name. Okay. Now send your answers to the teacher. Most of the exercises that were designed for the North Sami course can be easily adapted to other languages. We also wanted to create exercises and tasks that can be done individually or in pairs and smaller groups. Working in pairs and groups strengthens the spoken language skills. Individual work can instead focus on reading, comprehension and writing. Art galleries are good places to visit and can be used for purposes on the course. For example, this art gallery seems like a great place to send the students to. They can discuss the art or they can report on what they have seen, which painting is their favorite, and so on. European learning projects such as the Avalon project has got its own island in Second Life. Many universities, companies, individuals also have their own space in this world. It is less costly to give a course on land that is already in the virtual world. Many places also have so-called sandboxes, where you can build or bring out any objects needed for the course. This gives a great advantage to the teachers that don't have the time or opportunity to maintain their own space in a virtual world. I will show you around on one of the islands where North Sami courses and other European language courses are being held. This is the Avalon Learning Island. As you have probably noticed, a virtual world like Second Life does not generate the interesting content itself. It is the people and the users in this world and the exercises designed for this space that create the interesting contents. University and Home Lab in Second Life. Home Lab Island and Home Lab 2 Island, Lindell Hall, and other spaces for creative meetings, teaching and research. So I will now show you around Umeå University's own space in Second Life. Lindell Hall is the heart of the real-life campus as well as our virtual campus. But I hope you have been paying attention to everything you've seen. I will have some questions for you in the end of this journey. Thank you for taking this short tour with me. Okay, so here is the last exercise in language class. This is a demonstration and example. How many bikes were parked just outside the Lindell Hall? Describe the conference area. In what language was the presentation there? What animals appear in Umeå University logo and on a big board in the House of Languages area in the beginning of the film? What is the fastest way to move from one point to another on an island? Second Life in Language Studies. Second Life gives a teacher of an endangered language the possibility to produce own language-specific materials. Virtual environments also offer variation to the traditional classroom teaching. For languages such as North Sami, spatiality of the language is easier to demonstrate with an additional 3D environment. We can produce almost infinite number of exercises from which the teachers and the students can then choose. Thank you, and learn more about Euroversity and good practice framework in these addresses.